Howdy, gang. Alright, today we're doing Kingdom Come Deliverance. This game opens with a short history lesson, so I've got it paused in the background. And I'm just gonna shut up and let that play out, and then I can explain what's going on. Probably should have moved this into place first. Let's get to it.
Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins.
Cool. Right, so this Kingdom Come Deliverance. We are playing the Royal Edition, which means we have all the DLCs to work with. Some of these are just like armor sets and treasure maps. Some of these are new quest lines. The biggest one is From the Ashes, which adds like a town you can build up. That town generates money. So we're actually playing with some mods. One of them nerfs the amount of money you get from the town. It just reduces the prices of all that crap in general. So, like, owning the town won't let you buy the best equipment in the game, you know? In general, I was looking for ways to make the game, like, less OP in the end game. So we're also using Blood and Iron Light, which is obviously the light version of Blood and Iron. It just does a bunch of balance changes, makes the AI a bit more aggressive, reduces scaling from stats, or most mods choose to entirely remove it, which I think is stupid. Changes the way starvation works a bit, to make it more realistic. It's not necessarily a harder change, it's just like, you stay full longer but need to eat more, stuff like that. One cabbage isn't going to keep you full for half a day. We're using a custom reshade preset. I think I turn it off like this. Like, getting base game's kind of like washed out. This just makes it all look more vibrant, sharpened stuff, better lighting. Let's see, this game's made in the CryEngine, which is, of course, the engine made for Crysis, one of the hardest games to ever run. And while Crysis is a good-looking game, it's my personal opinion that something that looks just like it could run better if it wasn't on just a shitty engine. Because this game runs like absolute shit when you change it from the default medium settings, which is a big part of why we're using Reshade, because, yeah, I can only get like 40 FPS on max settings with my nice new GPU. And, it doesn't really improve much when you go to the lower settings either. And when we're recording it, obviously takes a bigger hit, so we're just leaving it on medium, where I can keep it at least 40, which, I don't know, you guys aren't really seeing 30, so it's fine. We got the HD sounds installed. HD textures make things a little nicer without actually changing those settings, which just completely breaks everything for some reason. What else did we install? Something to tweak the Master Strike system, which you won't learn about till later in the game, but it's basically an auto kill button. It makes it harder to execute. And new perks, because I didn't really care for a lot of them, especially when you're like halfway through the game and you just like don't know what to do. So like, we took the Blood and Iron perk module as well as the Light edition. They should work well together, but just know what you see isn't going to be totally what the normal game is. I also have my old save file still installed, so you'll probably see achievements popping up constantly since I played it on Steam originally. Anyways, let's start the game. So in hardcore mode, it's kind of funny, but when you click it, there's like a 90% chance you'll just die on the main menu. And you'll keep doing that until the game finally lets you start. And then you have to pick like 3 negative perks that'll stick it with you for the whole game, and a lot of them are pretty inconvenient. Like, you have to sleep in a bed to save in this game, so... And you also have to sleep in general to recover stamina and stuff, but... One of them will make it so every time you sleep, you'll wake up in a different bed anywhere on the map, which could put you in, like, a bandit camp, it could put you in jail. So, like, that's just... It's too much. You need to, like, know the game in the back of your hand and try to speedrun it if you want to go through that. To be fair, it is fairly memorable, so that's why I'm confident enough to do this on stream and not have it take a million years. The game's pretty hard as it is, though, especially in the early game. So it's like, I think it will achieve a good difficulty with their new scaling settings. I'm pretty sure this is a pre-rendered cutscene. Because Reshade's like an image effects thing, it just like applies it over the cutscene anyways, and that's pretty great. So as you can see, this is not a fantasy world, this is historically accurate, very real Bohemia, aka the Czech Republic. And if you look on like Google Maps, the entire layout of this game's map is more or less the same today. The towns all more or less look the same. And the loving community also leaves pretty funny reviews as Henry and places all over it.
God bless. Same to you. Today's a scorcher. Well, husband, how goes it?
Good. I should get it finished today. Where on earth is Henry? I need him to run some errands.
He was still sleeping when I went out.
Nice sword in
This
it.
hour?
Horn sword.
Blue-blooded idler.
Well,
Needs a hilt
it
though.
looks like he was out all evening, drinking like a lord.
Go and get the lazy bones up then. Quick clout round the ear should do it.
Aw, that's how good Christians behave.
Henry! Get up now. There's work to be done.
Your boy, the charming Henry of Skalitz.
Hear that? You'd better not vex him. Now get up quick. Your breakfast is on the
Such a
table.
lovable protagonist. He's just a goofball.
Wait, what's this?
He's like kind of
Have
ugly.
you been... Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing.
I don't mean
It's just a
ugly, but he's
scratch.
not a pretty boy.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you?
Very normal.
You better
Makes me
pray
feel
your
more
father doesn't
relatable.
get to hear of it. You know how he feels about it.
Oh, don't worry, it wasn't that. I just scratched myself is all.
Well, just
Henry
don't
was totally
come
training
to
with
me
a
if you really
sword.
do get hurt. Now get up, you rogue.
He's just a troublemaker. Young lad drinks and wants to fight. Picks on people. Beginning of this game's very much like Fable. Like, you just run around, do tasks that kind of teach you game mechanics. Let's see. This whole game's played in first person. Again, it's going for like total realism. Like, even if you put on a helmet, you won't be able to see when you're fighting. You have to eat and sleep. Sleep to save. There's a special, like, alcohol you can drink to quick save if you really need it, but that's the only real immersion break. Combat system's very unique. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. It's, of course, an open world
If I
game, so you
sate
only
you
have,
in
like,
this
one loading
morning,
screen. It'll
What
be
on
long,
earth did
though.
you get up to last night? Well, I hope you didn't fill your head with nonsense.
I skip stuff.
Well, I've got a feeling there's something you're not telling me. And it's connected with that scratch on your hand. And that suspicious-looking character with a sword who turned up in town recently.
Okay, so, whatever I just picked was supposed to determine my starting stats. It looked like I picked one related to speech. I think I probably said, like, I was drinking with the boys at the pub. Something like that, right? And speech is actually one of the harder things to level. So it's not a bad thing that I picked that. But these stats are actually fairly important, like... Strength will do damage and carry weight, obviously. Agility is like movement speed and attack speed, which is incredibly important. Vitality is like health and stamina, which are also very important. Though strength and agility like come naturally as you fight. Vitality is more like you have to get hit to actually level it, which kind of sucks. And... you know, again, speech is just hard to level, so that's something that you should probably want some free levels in, yeah. Go with that. And of course, these all develop organically over time, so you don't need to worry about them too much. You will be a jack of all trades.
You think he's teaching me sword fighting, don't you? What use would that be to me? Here. I'm not lying to you, Ma.
All right, then, if you say so. I don't mean to pry, but you know your father takes a dim view of such things.
Did Matthew and Fritz come looking for me?
No, I haven't seen them this morning. They shouldn't be hard to find. They'll be hanging around a tavern somewhere, as usual.
They aren't drunks, they're just cool.
Matthew and Fritz aren't drunkards.
I never said they were, did I? And if I really minded you going for a beer with them, I'd have put a stop to it long ago. I was young once too, you know. And your father was no angel when he was in Talmberg.
Oh yeah?
Of course he wasn't.
You don't believe me? Ask him yourself.
All right, I will.
You're not a boy anymore, Henry. You're a man, and it's time to start acting like one. Yesterday you promised your father you'd help at the forge. If you made yourself useful now and then, I wouldn't mind your mischief-making so much.
Is he angry?
Is father angry with me for sleeping late?
He's not happy. Yesterday you promised him you'd help finish that sword for Sir Radzig. He's not as young as he was, and you know how his joints pain him. He's too proud to complain, but he needs your help, Henry.
I know. Don't worry, Ma. Of course I'll help him.
Good. He always says his knees ache when there's a storm coming. I hope they're wrong this time. It's looking like such a nice day.
We're all good here, yeah. Good, good. I'm hungry.
Can I get something to eat?
I left some breakfast on the table. Help yourself.
Sweet. Get moving. Like, food rots in your inventory, too, so you gotta eat when you can. And take whatever free food's available. With the way it's, like, set up, there are, like, public pots of soup all over the place, and you can put items in the soup pot and make it nourish you more. And because it's like communal soup, you can just take them whenever, and it's pretty easy to get through the game eating exclusively from those. And that should no longer be the case. But like, as I was saying, it is realistic, but like, it's kind of goofy too. The game has a sense of humor and still has like gamey elements to it. Take all the food in the house. Drop an apple in there. I think when hardcore mode, this pot doesn't actually replenish unless you have dropped an item in there. I'm pretty sure the game also uses like eye adjustment or something, so the longer you spend in the dark, the easier it is to see. And now we're just in a dark home. There's more food for us to steal, but it, again, the stuff rots in your inventory, so it's not good to take it until you need it. It'll just weigh you down. Father. What's up, old man?
What's the matter with you, Henry? Didn't you hear me calling you?
No. Sometimes you need power of persuasion to achieve your goals. When talking to people, you often choose what kind of impression you want to make on them. You can simply use speech, which, however, is influenced by reputation you have at the moment with the person you're talking to. You have reputations in the towns, too, in general, from doing quests and stuff, how much crime you've committed. Middle ages, social status is paramount. If you look dangerous, sometimes bribe people. Some cases you can use a skill. Good system, good system. So obviously something like intimidation comes from like how armored you are, what kind of weapon you have, if you're covered in blood, if you're dirty, would affect how your speech or your status. And like your stats like strength and stuff also have small influence on that. Good complex stuff. Seems like my reputation is the one that plays the strongest.
Sorry, Father. I was taking a stroll and lost track of time. Somehow I had a feeling I was seeing everything for the first time.
Aha.
Oh, my boy, when are you going to get some sense? Anyway, we've a lot of work to do today. I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzig, and I need your help.
With what?
I'm running out of charcoal. Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal burner.
I'll need some money then.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Kunesh still owes me for an axe, a hammer, and the nails I sold him a month ago. Not to mention his debt from before. Go and tell him to pay up, at least for the axe and hammer, and then use the money to buy the charcoal.
Kunesh? That drunkard? That'll be fun.
Well, you're a big lad now. I'm sure you can manage. If not, tell him that next time I'll come myself and personally use that hammer to bang those nails into his arse.
Sure I'll be happy to hear it. Is that all?
Not quite. The Chamberlain at the castle has the crossguard for Sir Radzig's sword, which I had engraved in Sasau.
You want me to go and pick it up? All right. Money, charcoal, crossguard. Got it.
And ale. Stop off at the tavern on your way home. I know you'll be going there anyway to see that girl of yours. But make sure the ale's still cool from the cellar when you get back.
Her name is Bianca.
Right, so make sure Bianca draws me a nice cool one. Run along now, work won't wait.
I'm not sure Bianca is like actually Henry's girl. She's probably just like the hot bartender that he hits on all the time. But that plotline like ends very quickly. Really only like Matthew and Fritz are the ones you have to care about here. Nice stamina down there. It takes a long time to regenerate like in Dark Souls.
Indeed I am, or I'll have nothing to smelt the ore with, and the
Charcoal
king won't
burner.
get his silver.
Which king do you mean, Master Tobias? The one sitting in some godforsaken dungeon, or the one who holds the key to the dungeon?
These are strange times, strange and ill-omened. But since I serve our liege lord Sir Radzig, I think you know the answer.
True, but where will Sir Radzig take the silver? Hardly to Kuttenberg. Now its citizens bend their knees to Sigismund.
Fortunately, that's not my problem. Perhaps Sir Radzig is keeping it at the castle until this old unhappy story reaches its end.
I only hope Sigismund doesn't get an appetite for our silver too.
That makes two of us. But back to business. I'll need 3 wagon loads.
I see your people are working hard. You'll have it tomorrow. Shall we go and drink to the deal?
With pleasure, good man.
Oh,
If
Don.
it's charcoal you want, talk to my hired hand. I've no time.
Oh, great. You have no time because you're making a deal with someone else.
Good day.
Oh, great. It just means I can probably haggle with them. Put your purchases into your basket and then confuse or try to haggle. Yeah.
See you later.
I need to buy charcoal. I don't have any money. Cost half a groschen. Damn. Yeah, okay, I need to go earn money first. We're supposed to go shake down Kunish. He never paid for his mails. You can also gamble a bit if you want. I believe gambling's a
Hey,
skill.
Do you want to learn something?
No, I don't think so. Thanks.
Suit yourself. Have you recovered from yesterday's great wound?
That was nothing. Except Mother noticed and had a word or two to say about it.
No mother's happy when her son starts to take an interest in swords. Where there's weapons, there's death. The question is, what do you want?
I don't want to rot in this hole forever. I feel like I don't belong here. I want to live and see the world. The world's a dangerous place and I need to know how to protect myself.
Spoken like a man. And as it happens, today's your last chance. I have to leave. So, are you ready to get stuck in?
Let's get it.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right, I wait on the ground by the sheepfold as usual.
Probably gonna get my ass handed to me, but it's good training, early XP. You also see there's like clipping on his armor. Sadly, that's just an issue they have with everything. It's especially bad when you first equip it before like the underlayers shrink down or whatever they do to hide it a bit, but like, I don't know, a lot of people just look kind of ugly because their freaking clothes clip through and the armor's like it's in layers, you see? You got like your coif, your actual over helmet, and your head chainmail. So this is like cloth chain helmet. And these all do different layers of protection, so it's kind of important to have them all. So generally the outer layer is like the most heavy, and that's the one you might do without. Like, you can go for light armor build if you want. This man's probably only got like 2 layers on. And I mentioned that you can get dirty too, so you might want to carry around a set of nice clothes in addition to your armor.
So, can we get started?
Then you have to take baths, wash your blood off your face.
We can.
Good. And since today's the last time we'll be seeing each other, you can show me everything I've taught you so far.
You ain't taught me shit, bruv.
Very well. Let's start with the basics. Keep moving. Your life depends on it.
A and D, you can unlock from your opponent anytime holding left shift to sprint.
Alright. Now try to hit me. You have to put your weight into your attack. If you just fiddle around, you'll get nowhere. Try slashing from different sides. Unpredictability is the key. Never repeat yourself.
This is the combat star. Works kind of like For Honor with a few more directions. Like, it just picks the direction you attack from. And you obviously have to mix it up to avoid blocks. You can counter with a block. And the middle one's like a stabby as well.
Nice.
Which is more difficult to block without a shield.
Very good. Not bad. Again. The point of the blade is for stabbing. Try it a few times.
While your agility's low and your attack speed's slow, it's kind of like difficult to land hits reliably. And it makes the combat feel a bit strange, but you get used to it.
Good. Let's try something else. One strike I can fend off without a sweat. But if you chain your strikes, I'll have a much harder time. As soon as you land one blow, follow it with another. Alright.
And, so I think your health determines your max stamina value. Like, you can't go above your health. And then your stamina gets drained before you lose health as well, so they, like, play off each other like an armor system of sorts. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, when you're getting fucked up, the camera can go fucking wacky because, you know, you're getting fucked up. That's how it is.
Very good. Good.
I just really couldn't imagine playing this on a controller, but I'm sure it's not as bad as I think it is. The game is on consoles.
Tired and thirsty. Remember though, train hard. No one becomes a master swordsman overnight. You have to work and work. And the main thing is to use what you've learned in real combat. There's nothing better than experience, believe me.
It's true. So training is going to be a really important thing. You are absolutely incompetent and incapable of hurting a fucking fly right now. And if you go and try and kill someone, you are going to die. So when you get the opportunity to actually train, you're going to sit there and do it for like a few hours until you really get the hang of it. And then once you actually start killing people, then...
How are you, Henry?
Then you get more experience because you did like actual combat.
This here.
That's everything.
Some change for you.
Also, it's strange that I didn't take any damage during that because training usually really wears you out. Whenever clothing you're wearing will get damaged, your health will go down, stuff like that. I don't know where the hell I'm going. There is a map. Buy ale, bag of charcoal, collect debt. I need to go to C. I see, they put it first before the charcoal burner even, or it's right next to them. Order of operations. Wash yourself off. Gonna have to convince them, or maybe rough them
I'll
up
be
a
with
bit.
you, Kunesh.
What do you want?
My father sent me to get the coin you owe him for the axe, hammer, and nails.
I've got nothing. Clear off.
Pay for the tools at least, dude.
You know you owe father for a lot more than just the axe and hammer. If he went to the bailiff about it, you'd be in deep water. At least pay for the tools if you can't pay for everything.
I told you I have no coin, you bastard. Get the hell out of here, or I'll use the axe on you.
Now you get the hell out of here.
Look, I know things aren't easy. Your wife ran off, booze is dear these days, and you're as much use as a square wheel. It's no wonder you're short of coin. But a debt's a debt, and I can't leave here without something.
If I had anything to give, I'd give it. But I've got nothing, so leave me in peace, all of you. And don't come back.
What do you mean reputation gained and lost? I lose reputation with the poor? Reputation. Yeah, it's good. I have a skill point in speech from those 2 levels we took at the beginning. Probably would have been good to look at. Info. You need to hit a minimum level before you can actually take these. And you get a point every like 3 levels or so, so you're not supposed to be able to get them all. The trader loses patience with you during haggling, you get 1 more chance to make another offer. That sounds nice. Each level increases 3 in talking to noble. Lowborn's the opposite of that. You generally can't take both of these, but I think with this perk system you get like half the bonus if you do take both. See your counterpart's stats. Break fear in person, silent, or intimidation. Yeah, I'm not sure I really want this. I'm usually pretty alright at haggling, like I play it safe. Well, you can't pay for the axe. I'm gonna take your axe.
Hey! What the... He's stealing! Watch out! A thief!
You there!
What?
Thief!
Surrender! You've committed a crime and I'm arresting you.
Ah, shit! Leave me be!
Someone saw you stealing. Well, you won't forget this in a hurry. because it'll take a nice pile of coin to fix it.
I ain't got coin. Been given a secret task.
Just my luck. Look, I can't tell you anymore. The fate of the whole empire hangs in the balance between King Wenceslas and King Sigismund. High politics, you know? Not a peep to anyone.
Ha ha! You'd make a stuffed bird laugh. But that won't help you much.
I can't
Ain't
pay
got
that.
coin, dude.
You don't pay, you go to jail.
I mean, you should probably just kill me. Or I could beat his ass.
What the hell was that?
I'm gonna...
Christ!
I don't actually know how to block.
I'll squash
you. Don't pretend.
Sweet. Yeah, I probably wasn't supposed to steal that axe. I know I take something from probably like a tool in his house or something like that, out of sight. Did you notice the honor system? He put his weapon away because I was unarmed. Unless you're dealing with like a bandit, that usually works out because you won't actually kill your opponent, you only knock him out if you're unarmed. I think there's also a way to like choke people out, which I maybe should have done. Coonish, I mean.
God be with you, Kunesh.
What do you want?
My father sent me to...
I've got no...
We've done this.
You know you owe father...
I told you...
Look.
If I had a... And don't come back.
Try and get the axe, hammer, and nails back another way. Alright, so I need to be sneaky. Away, bitch. Shouldn't actually see me in here. That money? That fucking money? Lying sack of crap?
A locked chest. I'll need a lockpick to get into that. Fritz might have one.
Alright, let's go talk to our buddy Fritz. Tell him that Kunesh's waltz on the Fritz.
Come on up and take a look. I've got everything
I'll take this.
day or night, at home or at work. Mixed goods. Handy.
Charcoal, tavern. E, pick up crossguard at the castle. They said they're probably at the tavern, so I guess I'm heading to, here. Outdoor dining, you know.
Hey, Pip. Do you want to learn something?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, damn, I gotta do this again,
Have
too.
Yeah.
Gonna run off. Where's Matthew and Fritz, dude?
Garlic, carrots, beetroot, onions, all that grows in the ground. Fresh. Come right up.
They're in the actual yard.
You can't be serious, Deutsch. Insulting our king.
What insult? I say only the truth. Sigismund has done only what he had to.
He had to abduct the king. He had to lure his cousin Prokop into a trap and imprison him. He had to invade with his army of Tatars and besiege Kuttenberg.
Why not? What is this Wenceslas for a king? The empire is falling asunder in his hands. The German counts elected Ruprecht of the Palatinate as king because your Wenceslas would not go to their deeds even.
German counts. Traitors.
Now even the Pope
God be with
is
you,
opposed
Henry.
to your king.
I'm with you,
So are
Matthew.
such lords as
What's going on here?
Rosenberg.
Deutsch is spouting shit.
What?
Just listen and you'll hear for yourself.
Someone has to bring order and reunite the empire.
What do I care about the Austrians? And nowadays, not even the devil himself can keep up with all the popes. Which is the rightful pope? The one in Rome or the one in Avignon?
Do not blaspheme, Alex.
No, it's true, though. Wenceslas is the king of Bohemia. Bohemian nobles are on his side. To hell with Rosenberg and his cabal. Sir Radzik is Wenceslas' commander-in-chief. He stayed loyal to the king. And if he heard you talking like this, he would have you whipped like a dog.
Your Diet will soon have nothing left to rule. Jobst had to sell Luxembourg to help your king. South Bohemia is with Sigismund
And don't forget about Kuttenberg, where Germans like you kissed Sigismund's feet to keep their heads.
Yes, but...
Goodman Deutsch, this is pointless. Let us talk of more pleasant things.
My words exactly.
Deutsch has gone too far. Wenceslas is our rightful king.
Deutsch is an idiot. But
You
what can
love
you do?
nationalism.
I might have an idea. Deutsch deserves to be taught a lesson. Doesn't he, Fritz?
Too right, Matthew. Should give him a proper hiding.
Are you mad? Do you want to end up in the pillory? Don't listen to Fritz. I've got a better idea. Deutsch was talking such shit, it made me think of that huge parliament. You know, the one right next to his freshly whitewashed house.
You think we should redecorate for him? Count me in.
Well, I'd rather torch it, to be honest. But throwing some tears will do.
What do you say, Henry?
But I was going to get ale for father and a few other things. We're finishing Sir Radzig's sword.
Come on. Throwing a few handfuls of manure is not going to take all day.
And it's our duty to defend the honor of our king.
So, Hal, are you with us?
Ow.
God save Henry.
I'll do it, but you gotta give me some lockpicks, bruv.
Alright, I'll do it. But then you have to give me a hand with something.
What do you need?
Krunner shows money to father and doesn't want to pay. I tried talking to him, but he wouldn't listen. I need more than words to get coin out of him, and I can't handle it on my own.
No problem, we'll back you up. Just as soon as we're done plastering Deutsch's house.
I'll be happy to sort out that drunken oaf.
Alright, let's go while Deutsch is still sitting safely in the tavern.
Right. This is funny, but it's also kind of fucked up. Like, Deutsch isn't from this country, so nobody's on his side politically. And now we're about to literally shit on his house because of that.
God save
This
you.
is like setting up a burning tea in someone's yard when you want them to go away for whatever reason. As the clan likes to do. Right. He's a dingus.
Listen, there's this locked chest I need to get into.
Really?
And only straight not good enough for you anymore?
It's just that someone has something that doesn't belong to him, and I want to take it back.
If you say so. It's not skin off my nose anyway. I've got some lockpicks you can have. But if you get caught, you didn't get them from me.
Never heard of you. Thanks, Fritz.
Or lockpicks.
So are we doing this or not?
Wait. We have to check that the coast is clear.
Why? The Deutsch is in the tavern.
But maybe you noticed after all these years that he has a wife and a son.
And that's a problem?
Aye, it is. Henry, you go and lure her away somehow.
Why me?
You're a sex symbol.
Because you're the clever one.
Yeah.
Henry's actually modeled after his voice actor, Tom McKay. They look exactly the same. Again, the loving community just calls him Henry now. Go walking through the streets of Prague,
What do you want,
and everybody
lad?
will call his name. Your husband's being a
just went by the
dingus.
tavern, and your husband was in there talking nonsense. I thought someone should take him home before he gets himself in trouble.
What sort of nonsense?
Well, he kept saying that Sigismund was right and King Wenceslas is a drunkard. That sort of thing. Some people took exception, so I thought...
God almighty, the fool. Next thing he'll start on about the popes.
He might have mentioned the popes too.
Thank you for telling me. I just hope I can catch him before he gets into another fight.
Yeah, you'll be thanking me later when my hands are caked in shit.
Huh?
Did my reputation go down for bumping into someone? Or is it because I've done this?
What are you waiting for, soldier? Fire the trebuchet! For king and country!
For king and country, my ass. This is all good, clean, fun.
I'm clean
Nearly
about
as
it.
good as having that traitor in the pillory. Nearly. Now that would be sweet.
That's for Sigismund!
Woohoo! Eat shit.
Look at how the shit shits when it hits the wall.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Hey, Hans, can't you see? We're decorating your house for you.
It's like your old man was saying in the tavern about that traitor Sigismund. We're just doing what we have to do.
Horse Hans! I'll make those smiles off your faces!
Oh, I'd like to see you try.
Stuff this shit down your
What
throat,
are you
bro.
doing here, Zbyszek? Hanging out with this poxy Deutscher? Maybe you'd like to try out the latest German fashion.
Fucker! I'll make you pay for that.
Now he's getting in a scuffle. Maybe this will tell me how to block. Jab, head blow to the face. Wrong slower, strike to the head. Kick the opponent away. Lock on, switch opponent. Unlock. Block. You. This fighting's actually a really great way to raise your strength and vitality. But you're probably gonna get your ass kicked a little here. Or you can gang up on them with your friends because everything falls apart when you're not in normal combat. How most melee systems work. I don't think anybody's done it good except for, like, you know, platinum games. So when you're locked on, you see that little purple health bar to the side. That's the opponent's health.
What are you doing? For God's sake! Stop right now! The catch pole is on his way!
Oh, shit.
Damn! Let's go!
Run,
How are you, Henry?
Cowards!
we better fucking run too.
We actually won that. This guard doesn't know. Maybe it's too small for him. Can't abandon his post. I believe you can actually get caught, but I never got caught. You know, he just reprimands you for being a dingus. Plus, he's also on your side.
What the?
Not a big deal, but I do think you get a small reputation loss or something.
Are you? Huh?
I do have stuff to talk about later, but I'm waiting for, like, training montage.
Hey.
Right now, story stuff's just happening. Sneak's a harder thing to level because you don't know when you're going to use it. And people don't like when they see you crawling around either. Bad for your rep.
Thread long and strong to sew up anything you need. Rake, spade, and all.
We good. You gotta run around the whole fucking town? Goddamn.
Good day,
We're all
Henry.
here. We made it.
Well, we sorted that Deutsch out.
That was pretty close, eh?
That old bastard didn't stand a chance.
True, but I'm worried that fucker Hans will snitch on us.
Well, let him. Then I'll snitch on him. And anyway, what can they do to us for throwing a bit of dung?
Good point. It's not as if anyone really likes the Deutsch.
I need a hand with Kunesh.
Sure, mate. You helped us, so we'll help you.
Let's get to it then.
Damn.
So do we beat him up or what?
Kunesh, get out here, you old goat. I've something to show you.
What the fuck are you here for? You want me to take a whip to you or call a catch pole? Just try it, you old drunk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're all beating him up.
Oh, you fucked him there.
Cunt!
Slug your boy in the back of the head.
I give up. Take what you want. It's not much, but it's all I have. You understand?
Oh, nice. I don't even have to pick the lock if I don't want to now. This is no longer stealing. So I need an ox, a hammer, and nails. And lockpick. I don't really remember how this game works. You find a sweet spot and then you maybe dodge, or do you like work your way to center? Help. In order to pick locks, you have to find at least one lockpick. One lockpicks by holding E. Lock, you'll see a diagram of lock and mechanism, which you have to find the right spot to insert. Then you have to use lockpick D, turn the whole lock mechanism at the same time. You have to coordinate movement of your lockpick with the rotation mechanism, rotation shifts position of the sweet spot. Oh, so you have to try and keep it in the same spot relative to the rotation. Mechanism will stick, will damage the lockpick, you can break it. Any damage to the lockpick will produce a noise which draws unwanted attention, causing an even louder snap. You can't just like tap it and keep it going slow. You have to roll with it. He's hammering his nails.
All right, blacksmith's boy, you got the better of me. Take what you want, but you haven't heard the last of this.
I've heard the last of you, fucker. You ain't got none to work with no more. Looks like a lumberjack or something. You're just hauling around baskets of wood.
I'm glad you came. How are you?
So now I have to sell that shit. Add to basket. They're stolen, so like you need to sell them to a fence normally, but this is intentional. I need 10 units of charcoal, which costs 5 groschen. And let's haggle. Try and get myself more than 0.2 because you can't have
about the price.
Sure, why
20% of a coin. Gotcha. Give me a coin, eh? Eh? Give me a coin and a half.
Satisfied?
That's better. Drop in a bit more and we'll call it a deal.
No, he wants that. That's what he's okay with giving me guaranteed. But I made it a little higher so I can get what I actually want up here.
No deal then.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Good luck then.
See, now I'm not getting 0.2. I have to pay 0.2 because he likes me less.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Aye?
I also have to work in smaller units.
What about this?
Close. Drop. Finally, a reasonable sum.
I think I made a little money on that, just not as much as I could have. Half a grosh into my name. And gotta go do that sword training again. It'll be quick because I won't be talking. Do some combo strikes, stab him, run away. I think that was it. And now I know how to block. So maybe you'll kick her ass a little less. Winded so ridiculously easily.
So, we can. Very well. Let's start with the basics. Keep moving. Your life depends on it. All right. Now try to hit me. You have to put your weight into your attack. If you just fiddle around, you'll get nowhere. Try slashing from different sides. Unpredictability is the key. Never repeat yourself. All right. Fine.
You see how there's like a little flash after you hit? That's like
Now you're getting it.
where it's advised you strike from next. And eventually that'll turn into like a full combo you can do, which will result in an unblockable attack.
Try it a few times.
Right now it just basically wants me to stab after a slash.
Nice. Not bad. Again. Not bad. Again. Good, good. Let's try something else. One strike I can fend off without a sweat. But if you chain your strikes, I'll have a much harder time. As soon as you land one blow, follow it with another. Very good.
Obviously there's not any like multiplayer, but faking out the AI is still pretty important, and like attacking from the opposite side after a hit is usually both faster and more reliable.
Very good.
A lot of nuance to it.
Not bad. Again. Remember though, train hard. No one becomes a master swordsman overnight. You have to work and work. And the main thing is to use what you've learned in real combat. There's nothing better than experience, believe me.
Alright, so we are hungry now. Is there any way I can check how my hunger? And obviously there is. Statistics? Reputation, buffs, skills, combat. Unarmed didn't actually have any perks originally, so these are new. Polearm skills are new too, but I didn't actually install the thing that lets you store polearms. Like occasionally you'd find an enemy with a halberd and like it's kind of hype because it hits multiple enemies, but like they're too big to carry around, so you just never really use them. And like warfare is just general good that affects all things, not just whatever weapon you have equipped. So despite it being like organic leveling, there's some things that just go up from playing the game. They all make a minor impact on everything overall. But it feels good. It's like not quite a hardcore RPG, it's much more of an immersive sim where you are playing Henry, you're not warrior, rogue, whatever class you made, but it works. Blocking opponents strike with your shield will cost you less stamina. See, shields are alright, but like they're heavy. And they kind of block like a total half of your screen when you're actually using them. Again, you're more or less invincible on that side, even if you're not blocking, but I don't know, I have mixed opinions on shields. I usually stick with like a two-hander and just a one-handed sword. Because you can't use two-handers very well at the beginning. That's interesting. I'm not sure I want either of these. If you're going for a stealth thing, the moving bodies is important, but right now it's not.
How are you, Henry?
The two-handed weapons are heavy, so like you need to have like a minimum strength requirement to even wield it, but then like you need to have the agility to swing it reliably too, or you just get fucked up. But they're obviously stronger than the other weapons, so like they're what you use endgame usually.
What can I get you?
Fabric.
If your strength's really high, you can even one-hand it with a shield.
People, come.
That's ideal, but it's a bit much.
Bit of that.
We still need to get the alcohol, right? at the tavern, so it's in the yard.
Stocking
This
up.
side here.
Just a few minutes.
Got it for you right here.
God save, my lovely. You're looking well today.
You too, handsome. What brings you here?
See that? She just wants my money. I don't trust her.
Just ale.
What else could I expect from a village lout? What will it be then? Ragamuffin?
Ragamuffin?
I need ale for father.
A pitcher as usual?
Aye. Bring me a cool one from the cellar.
But of course.
I could do with...
Here you are.
Need a bottle warm as fresh piss.
It's on me today. You can pay me back this evening.
Whoa. Here you go. And this evening I'll have something more for you.
I can't wait.
Thanks. You'll have something to look forward to this evening.
You too. Oh, by the way, that shifty-looking fellow was asking after you.
Vanya?
I suppose. He's a man who makes his coin robbing honest wayfarers. I'm sure of it. I'll be happy when he's gone for good. But what in heaven's name are you up to with him?
He promised to teach me how to use a sword.
What use would that be to you?
Enough. You sound just like father. I'll be going now. See you this evening.
Hal, I've got something special for you.
Is that so? Now what would that be?
Your favorite, Savior Schnapps.
Really? You're an angel.
I hope you'll thank me properly later.
You bet I will.
Damn, she wants it. A little floppy disk potion. The only way to save outside of your bed. It sounds pretty harsh at first, and it can be, but like, it's really not that bad. I don't use them very often. Especially once you're like competent at combat, you won't have to. Freshness not. Dude, the bread's rotting faster than the apple. Cheese takes away energy. The lentil soup's rotting the fastest. That. Yannick.
I'll be with you.
I'm with you, Henry.
How are you?
The game has some really slow texture streaming too, so when you enter a conversation you might see the low detail textures for a minute.
Father sent me. We're forging a sword for Sir Radzig, and the Chamberlain has the crossguard and grip. Father had them engraved in Sasau.
Right. They're here. The Chamberlain gave them to us for you. We looked them over. Beautiful work. I've never seen anything so fine.
I can't wait to see the sword. Just make sure you don't botch it.
When did I ever botch anything?
Where shall I start?
Ah, shut up and give me what I want, or I'll kick your ass this evening.
Right away, your lordship.
Damn.
Magnificent.
Confident.
Shame I can't keep the sword for myself. Well, I better go if we're to get the job done by this evening.
Godspeed. See you later in the tavern.
You certainly will. After today's work, the ale might even be on me.
Alright, we can finally move on. Jeez. It's a long intro, and then we're gonna do a long training. Really got a slow start. I feel like the game just, like, deters a lot of people with the weird combat, and the long, slow start, and, like, realism mechanics. There's just so much to love once you give it a chance. Oh yeah.
What did you actually do in Kuttenberg?
Oh, all sorts. You had to be able to put your hand to anything if you wanted to make a living. But I was never far from iron.
I'd like to see Kuttenberg sometime.
I'll take you there one day, never fear. It's a beautiful city. But in the end, you'll learn the best places here by the Sasso. We've kind nobles, fertile land, and plenty of everything.
And do you know Sir Radzig well?
We've known each other long enough. About time. Have you got everything I wanted?
Yeah.
I have charcoal, the hilt, and the ale. We can start.
Good job. Let's have it then, son. Well done. Right.
Pretty sure his shirt isn't actually clipping, he's just got a hole in it.
Look at that, lad. Well, that's what I call craftsmanship.
What does the inscription mean?
Shiny.
Damned if I know. Doesn't look like Czech to me. Latin, maybe? Lord Radzig ordered it. Oh, this will be the finest sword I've ever made. Have you got the charcoal? Good. Then fire up the forge. We'll put it all together. By the way, someone paid me a call. I reckon you might know what it was about.
I'm not sure.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure you and your friends threw dung at Deutsch's freshly whitewashed house. He was here with the catchpole earlier, and it was not a friendly visit. What got into you, Hal?
That Deutsch was talking treason in the tavern about Sigismund and the king. He got what he deserved.
Got what he deserved, did he? You can go and clean up the mess you made and apologise to him. I have a trade to run. The German pays well, and having my son in the pillory helps nothing and nobody, least of all the king. You understand?
Yes.
Look me in the eye, Henry. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. And we'll never have this conversation again.
Body.
So you think it's right to let traitors speak ill of our king?
The boy gets caught, making a fool of himself, and he still hasn't learned his lesson. So Deutsch spouts rubbish, and what? You turn into a common thug. You might win a fight with violence, but you'll never win an argument. Remember, Henry, if you want to convince someone that they're wrong, try using your mouth and not your fists.
Think, bro. Big brain.
The furnace is ready.
Right, we'll do the grip. I'll heat it up, and when I take it out, you slip the grip on so it fits exactly. You know what you're doing. Do it. Good. Once more.
Gotta burn it through to get an exact fit.
That's it. Done. Now file it down so it sits well in the hand. I'll prepare the guard.
Father, why did you leave Prague? Who ever heard of a master swordsmith making horseshoes in a village?
I had my reasons, Hal. And here I have your mother and you. Why would I want any other life?
Do you remember Emperor Charles?
I do. Life was good under his reign.
Better than now.
He built half of Prague, and a score of castles, had a bridge made over the Moldau, and founded a university, and all without a war. He knew how to rule.
Better than Wenceslas.
Better by far. But Wenceslas doesn't have it easy. It's hard to step into the shoes of someone whose like is born only once 1,000 years.
What about Sigismund?
Do you think Charles would have brought an army down on his own people like Sigismund? No. Wenceslas may not be the equal of his father, but Sigismund, he brings shame to the royal name. How's it going? Give it here, and we'll put it all together.
Probably should straighten it before banging it on.
It's magnificent.
Indeed it is. The Lord be with you. My father sent me for those nails.
Good day to you, Teresa. They're ready. Will you fetch them for me, Hal? They're in the trunk in the living room.
Gotcha.
Henry,
So it's just a wood hilt? No fancy leather wrapping or anything like that? It was for night. Expect a little more. Risa?
Huh. Henry, are you all right?
That dress that barely fits. In the trunk. Guessing over here in the larder. No, maybe in my room. Living room. Woke up here, I guess I was sleeping on the bench. Nails for Teresa. Bandage. Marigold decoction, which gives you like health regen. And another shave your schnapp. All good stuff to have. Oh, right, injuries last a lot longer now. So, like, if you're bleeding, you need to use a bandage or you'll fucking die.
Henry, are you all right?
Stuff works kind of like Fallout, but a little more hardcore.
Thanks. So, how's Bianca?
She's fine. Why do you ask?
Just wondering, will you be going to the dance this evening?
We will.
Maybe we'll see each other there. Anyway, mustn't keep you. I'll be on my way. That sword is truly beautiful.
You jealous? Bianca thought, though.
Fine,
Checking out my other girl?
Now stop staring at her and come and see this. It's time for the trial by fire.
He's still staring. There we go, he did wrap it up. Damn. Yeah. That's like an axe.
We did a fine job.
I would expect nothing less from such a renowned swordsmith.
Those days are gone, sir.
You haven't lost your skills, though. Would you like to try
Tiny
it?
cut.
Sir, what
That's
good is a
accurate.
sword to a
Let him
commoner?
try it.
You all got a turn, let me do it, damn. Loser. Loser.
You still have a lot to learn. Ask your father to show you how. He knows what he's about.
Learning his trade will serve him better in life, sir.
Perhaps. But who knows what the future holds for each of us. I see that you almost have it finished.
It just needs a polish, then Henry will bring it to you.
Excellent. Fine work, very fine. A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer. What say you, Sven?
True, Sir Radzik. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently. How odd to find such an
like a
accomplished
gun.
swordsmith working in a place like this. A man of his talent would have no problem making a fortune in Prague or Vienna.
You're right. It's a very long and peculiar story.
I'd be glad to listen to it over a cup of wine, but duty calls, and I must leave. Here you are. Learn from your father. He truly is a master of his craft.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
They certainly will.
Once it's ready, send your son up to me with it. Good work, Martin.
Sure.
Martin.
It's been an honor, Sir Istvan. Have a safe journey to Sasau.
The honor is mine, Sir Radzik. Thank you for the hospitality.
A long, peculiar history.
That was a long time ago. I might tell you about it sometime, but not today.
Will you teach me how to use it like Sir Radzik said?
Why?
Well, it could come in useful. Maybe I'll travel a bit before settling down. I'd like to know more than the tavern on the green and the forge.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life, son? It can end before it gets started. I might teach you how to handle a sword, and then someone will shoot you with a crossbow as soon as you set foot outside the house.
You talk as if you've seen it happen.
A man my age has seen a lot. Being a blacksmith might bring no glory, but it has its benefits, like keeping your head on your shoulders. I want to end my days in Skalitz, here, beneath the linden tree and by your mother's side.
Well, so do I, one day. But first, I'd like to see the world.
It's also good money. We're kind of the richest people in town.
Meet. You have to keep going on about it.
Then you've no need to learn swordplay.
A messenger.
He was in a hurry. What's happened?
I'm assuming the red flower's Rosenberg. But it looks Japanese.
Listen to me, Al. Listen carefully. Take the sword, go into the house, and grab anything else important from the trunk. Go to the castle. Hurry.
And what about you?
Your mother is in the village. I'll fetch her and we'll follow right behind.
I'll go with you.
No. You'll do what I say right now. Give the sword to Sir Radzik. If anything happens, he'll take care of you. He owes me.
That was quick. All the important stuff in one bag.
Closing!
Move it, people!
Come on!
We're running
Come
out of
on!
time! Oh, Henry! Thank God! Get inside, quick! We have to shut the gates!
Get running, people! Come on!
Mind this for me.
Are you mad? You can't go back! Ah.
Get through the gates!
Right, so we're now stuck with one of the most powerful swords in the game. And we still can't use it. It's the only thing that might help you in these fights. Otherwise, you're still gonna get your ass absolutely handed to you. But you can kind of cheese your way to kill some. And if you do, it's great XP. Your fault, dude. Looking at you in shock. He wasn't gonna live, though. Look how many of them there are. I can't even survive that.
Come on, Hal! You can still make it! Run! Find a horse! Ride to Talmberg! Tell them what's coming! Warn them!
Run by the moat! There's a path down there! Jump down from the wall and flee!
Man's got my sword. How am I supposed to fight, huh? No, we literally just run to another town right now. There is one small thing we can do, but I don't know if we're gonna kill the guy or not. The game will notice, though, and that's nice. And we steal a horse, even though we've never ridden a horse, because that's a skill, too. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, I'm dead. Oh, jeez. I didn't even see that guy. I probably ran down the wrong way. The game usually auto-saves at, like, key story points, so, yeah, we don't gotta redo all that, thank God. Probably when I, like, stood here for a minute, the guy's actually chasing me right now, probably caught up. I think this is the house I was looking for anyways. I didn't need to go that way at all.
Don't touch me, or I'll kill you! Go to hell, you Tatar beast!
Jókis falat, ne feszénj te szafka! Most meglátod!
Hands off the booty, you bastards!
Nyírjátok ki a fattyút!
Shit. Okay, just one stab is all you need to do to distract them. I didn't have the stamina to run. Oh, Tartars, humans. I think they're Turkish. People refer to them as demons because they have, like, scary faces and horned helmets. Kind of like the helmet of Clavicus Vile you can get in Skyrim. That's what they wear. Pretty spooky. But, like,
Don't touch me!
you know, I think the concept of dragons came from, like, a similar nature, and that, like, the Norse have, like, sea serpents on their ships, and then they come by and torch your whole village. It's like the boat just flying down the river and fucking up your whole life as a dragon. Oh, give me that horse. Oh shit. Give me this horse. She's fine if we don't help her. I just want to because they mention it later and it makes me feel good. What's really screwing me up is how difficult it is to unlock targets. Like, you just hold shift and run, but like it doesn't unlock right away.
Don't touch me, or I'll kill you!
And mounting the horse takes a while. I think there's literally a skill that it speeds that up. So it depends on your horsemanship. Okay, fucking run. Get on him. Get on him. What the fuck? I think I maybe hit the wrong button. I hit E as in use, but gotta be something else like X. I didn't take time to look. That just brought up the horse's stats. You gotta buy horses. No, that is the game bugging. That's a shame. I like load and autosave. Sure can. Damn, it's still messed up. So this is probably like the fade to black effect, just like stuck at 90% or whatever, like it didn't reset. I'm sure it'll go away the next time I die. But for now we're kind of screwed. Or I could restart the game, but I'm sure we'll die again, right? It's a shame this exists because like it's definitely not mods doing it. And the game's been out for like 4 years. It just has bugs. Like the settings being unoptimized, there is stuff they can do about it. They just don't. Busy working on a sequel.
Hell, you Tatar beast!
Which I don't know how I feel about, like, you gotta take care of the product that you already put out, right? But then again, this far in, how many people are really gonna be picking it back up? Like, as far as the big AAA companies are concerned, the first month of revenue is the only thing they actually care about. Everything else is just nice. Shift, chance to recover, the walk, shift faster, hold shift, you auto follow the path. Standard stuff now. Now, surprisingly, the only game I've played so far with a good auto path follow is Fade to Silence, which was a piece of crap. We talked about. But, like, that's the only compliment I can give the game. Ah, well, we're still dark mode.
Yeah.
I wonder. Okay, so it just auto-saved, which means if I go back to the main menu... Oh, that quit the whole game. Oh well. I was tired of looking at the dark screen, that was a shame. On, sync my saves. Why it takes so long, bruv? I'd be like... Turn this off. And it's going now. That was a shame, I only wanted to go to the menu. Really? Fancy mouse? No mouse. Ooh. That's all good. Way to break the freaking tension, huh? Still waiting for the chase scene. It's not their fault. Partially their fault, but it's not their fault. In fact, it's very literally all their fault, but I don't blame them. Next thing on my list of upgrades is faster RAM, I guess. Maybe a hard drive with N.2 compatibility for faster hard drives streaming as well. Got the most expensive things out of the way though, so we should be good. Grab myself that other stuff for Christmas or something. The one thing I'm kind of jealous of consoles of for once, is that they're all using solid-state hard drives now. I have one, but it's small. It's only like 100 gigs or something. Like, most of that's got like my OS on it and stuff. Occasionally I can put a game on there. But games are so big now, there's usually just not space. Speaking of big games, Elden Ring was only like 50 gigs. I was surprised. And I beat that. We're gonna talk about it later while we're training, because I have a lot to say, but, oh shit. Green bars on my horse's stamina now. Right, so the plan is to start playing Cyberpunk next, since, you know, its big patch came out and they're still doing some other smaller patches and the DLC is starting to roll out. like an alright time to actually play the game finally, and I got my new GPU, so like it'll help it a lot. Anyways, that game's like 56 gigs, like I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Especially with something like that's supposed to be next gen with like big high quality textures. They're just expecting a lot. Which is really gross because like some like Call of Duty Warzone, which has the default version, the launch version, has literally one map, and the rest of that 100. The game's probably like 30 gigs, is what I'm saying, and the rest of that's all like skins they want you to buy. Sometimes just like a really well optimized game will have a ton of unique meshes for like level of detail stuff, so like it doesn't just turn into melted candle wax when they try to reduce settings. They want it to actually look good at all quality levels. And that's good, but it takes up too much space as well. So like I'm surprised to see beautiful looking games still coming out that are small size like that. Elden Ring specifically looked great on like medium-low settings, which is what I was trying to run for a long time before I realized that the game just sucks. Got a level of horsemanship.
Oh my god! Wait! Jesus Christ!
Do something! Help! Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
Hey! And loose!
Just stand there, get shot, bruv. Reeds.
Quickly! We're closing the gate!
It'd be funny if the arrow got caught on the wall and like ripped his fucking leg open this time.
Someone give him a drink. And bring hot wine and bandages.
Hot wine to clean the wound. Sticky though. Oh, the sugar is actually good for you. That's like poor man's bandage. In Africa, they just pour sugar on the wound.
What in hell's name happened?
I've come from
Stops the bleeding at least, because it's like powder.
Burned it to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
Probably nourishing for the body.
Burned it to the ground?
A huge army. They attacked without warning. And they weren't Czechs or Germans either.
Who then?
I don't know. I've never seen armor like it or heard their language. Maybe Tatars?
Tartars, you say? Yeah. Well, we'll deal with that later. First, let's have a look at that leg of yours.
I don't know.
Grit your teeth, boy. I'm gonna pull that arrow out.
Oh. Ah, that's how you do it in the field. Come on, we're safe. Because the arrow is pointed like that, it's supposed to like rip the flesh out when you pull it back the wrong way.
Easy.
What you're supposed to do is just knock it off and push it all the way through.
Lucky lad. The arrow missed the bone. It only needed bandaging, and I've done that often enough before. War is a good teacher. Can you stand? There you go. Good as new.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, asshole.
Have you idlers nothing better to do? Get back to work. You'll have to speak to Lord Divish. Can you manage?
Tells him yes, uses the man as a crutch anyways. That's a man.
Sir, this is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
Yes, one looks like Japan.
I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying on the hill of Skalitz. The ones who did the slaughtering spoke a strange language. They burned Skalitz to the ground, but a lot of people took refuge in the castle. I wasn't quick enough. And as I fled, they shouted from the battlements that I should come and warn you.
The soldiers the boy didn't recognize. They could be those Cumans of Sigismund's. It said they came to Hungary from the east, and now they're the core of his army. Sacking Gutenberg must have given him a taste for stolen silver.
Skalitz is a small castle, sir.
Wonder if they're Mongolian.
Sigismund attacks. They can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe. What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside
Henry
the
of
castle?
Skalitz, name you'll hear constantly.
I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now. No one else can help us. Anyway, thank you for risking your neck to warn us. Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside the gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir.
Do they really sound like 3 horsemen after one unarmed villager? I guess I was technically armed, but I'm very clearly not a soldier. I guess that would ruin the whole surprise attack gimmick they just went for. Maybe it was smart. What was I saying? Right, by default, Elden Ring, like, set my settings to high, and, like, it ran just fine.
Have you looked into
but there were,
that
like,
matter
little
with the boundaries?
stutters and dips
I have, sir.
constantly, and those are just unremovable, no matter how much you lowered the settings. It's because of easy anti-cheat. If you choose to uninstall that and, like, play the game offline, then it runs great. Surprisingly well optimized. But however they implemented it, or if the program's just a piece of shit, it, like, I don't know, it just ruined everything, honestly. We'll talk more about that in a bit, though. When we talk about the multiplayer aspects of the game. Really a loading screen for that? Damn. Makes me a little tempted to, like, turn off the HD textures. Though you might do that in between streams so you guys don't notice the difference.
You've done well, lad. I'm sorry for your loss. You must be all done in. Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow is easier to bear on a full stomach.
Wow. Shit,
I heard about your father. They say he was a swordsman. I told you to come with me.
Sorry.
I can't understand why he'd waste his talents, but I'm sure he had his reasons. He had a fine reputation, It's a great loss.
We're going dizzy because we're both sleepy and hungry.
Ah, milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bojena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
Yeah, Tiger, I'm replaying this after like
You're in capable hands.
2 years or so. I haven't played any of the DLC before, so I'm excited to do all that. I loved it very much.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Eat. Go to the courtyard lodge, sleep until morning. I think they literally just left it on the table. Right there. Roast duck. Some wine. I don't think the Rhine Watts, so I'm entitled to that.
Eat.
You know, that duck.
Hey.
Lentil mash? Are lentils beans? Food. Probably eat some of the stuff that's rotting a bit more, like the bread. Nourishment. I think I want that to be at 0. No? Oh, wow. This is not healing anything, goddamn. I really nerfed it. Gotta eat a whole goddamn feast. Tell me the nourishment value? Yeah, 9. And the duck's probably worth more, 26. But it takes a lot of energy to digest, so you only want to eat meat when you gotta eat meat. There we go, that's probably good.
I hear you came from Skalitz today.
Is the grinding in From the Ashes really that bad?
How did it happen? Look out!
I know the early game hustle to get decent equipment's rough, but I can't imagine how much it is to pay for a whole town. I figured it would pay for itself eventually. Get out of my way. Alright, now we gotta sleep. So they don't actually tell you that this is like your owned bed now, but you can come back here whenever you want. It's kind of important with how much you have to sleep. These are key points in the day. On my energy. Can't sleep any longer? 12 hours? Yeah, that makes sense. So I might as well. Yeah, it sounded cool. I'm the most excited to play that one because it seems like it adds the most to the game.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the
It's
ordinary,
dark.
report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, no, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine.
Yeah, whatever you say. New hot boy walks into town, you gotta get some of that. I know how you are.
Thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to. But to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace. To let you know you're not alone.
Thank you.
So they're available right after the start? I figured they'd have like a level restriction, like
Now,
like Fallout 3 or something. You have to get to like level 10 before some will unlock.
new and strange for you.
Or you have to do a certain quest.
But I want you to feel at home here.
Honestly, that's gonna bug the crap out of me just leaving it on the map that long.
God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world. Although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
You want to be broody or you want to get some? You know the
You might be
answer.
right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected.
I think the camera bugged.
The day started just like any other.
Either
Father
that or
sent me
Henry
to
didn't
town
load
with
in.
errands.
Ah, timer. Be smooth.
I went to the tavern to buy ale for Father. I know it's a job for a groom, but I didn't mind, because my girl Bianca worked there. I courted her a while and we agreed to meet in the evening, but our meeting was never to happen.
Oh, dear boy.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home.
Yeah, Henry's invisible.
I promised Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward to it. He was forging a sword for Sir Radzig. The sword was taking shape when Sir Radzig himself came to have a look at it. He praised Father's work and said that with his smithing skills, he could easily make a living in Prague or Vienna.
You don't say.
But Sigismund's horde was
Doing
already
it,
on
we're
the
impressing
horizon,
her.
ready to attack the town. Sigismund's cavalry was composed of Cumans. They're diabolical barbarians from the east, with no regard for the rules of warfare, bloodthirsty cutthroats. The very fact Sigismund has them with him shows what a tyrant he is.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, so you're not...
Descended
God.
on Skalitz.
Reason.
I saw Deutsch trying to defend himself. The man who'd mocked King Wenceslas as a drunkard and praised Sigismund now stood facing his soldiers with nothing but a pitchfork, trying to protect his wife and son. It was hopeless. He slaughtered them all.
That's so sad.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle.
Yeah, okay. They told you about it.
I wasn't safe yet. The humans were going from house to house below the castle, looting and then torching them. They encircled the castle, and it was clear they could spot me at any moment.
May God punish them.
Pretty sure all of this is speech experience.
It was Teresa, the mill wench. She'd been caught by a gang of human savages who planned to violate her. I had Sir Radzig's sword, and even though there were several of them and they were better armed, I had to try and save her. I wanted there to be at least one person I'd helped. And I succeeded, even though it almost cost me my life. After that,
It cost me a life like 5 times.
Like a valiant knight.
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
That's terrible.
Hey, Visible Henry.
Something like that happen.
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith.
I think you give Satan a little too much credit. I'm sure these guys are doing good things for their country.
Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to...
Sir Havel the Rock.
He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Probislavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years.
Sounds like Jesus is awful greedy, huh?
Punished for it.
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Only 7 years, man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and...
Did they cut his balls off in jail? Is that what she means
the
by
best years are
infirm?
still ahead of you.
The guy couldn't have been that old.
Would that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own.
By the grace of Lord Jesus, I wish to commit adultery.
And let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry.
Because my husband's gross and old.
And God bless.
Good night, my lady.
Playing hard to get. Yeah, I failed one of the speech checks. That might have ruined it. If it happens yet. You definitely get a chance later on.
Help us, son. Don't be a coward.
He blames himself. I really don't think the man would have lived, but we also definitely did get him killed.
What's happening? Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.
Middle of the night. I don't think the amount of time we chose to sleep actually mattered. I got a full refresh though. My legs healed. Jesus, let's get out of this dark ass building and into the cold dark rain. I'm sure the reshade's making it a little worse, but the darkness is definitely very aggressive normally. You're supposed to carry a torch. Yeah. Only slightly worse. Up on the battlements, I think I can get there from the stairs if I can find them. Fumble around in the dark. Up here. Yeah, I do think you get harassed for it at the very least. They tell you to go home or something. Because you look sus walking around without a torch. Probably lowers your reputation a bit, and then if it's low enough, you might get fully arrested. Just like if you walk around sneaking all the time.
Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Alright, I'm trying to get on the battlements. Ah! Oh god, I broke my foot. Yeah, I don't think this is the way. Actually, one of the final battles takes place here. I think that there's like a gatehouse or something right here next to the gate. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't have a torch though, is the thing, man. Got the arrow they stuck in my leg. A nice feature.
The best thing would be to join forces with
Listen up. If it's Sigismund and his army, prepare for the worst.
There we go.
But don't be daunted by their numbers.
I found you jerks.
Heed my commands, and all will end well.
What's going on?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why would Sigismund advance on Talmberg in the night? Especially since he's lost the element of surprise after the raid on Skalitz.
Maybe it's not him.
Then who is it? The scouts Jivish sent to Skalitz to spy on Sigismund said he'd set up camp and was getting ready to storm the castle. And so Radzig is an experienced soldier. He'd surely hold the castle for quite some time. It doesn't make sense.
What else did the spies see?
Not much of anything.
So on the Steam page, there's actually screenshots of Henry wearing his hood. Like, there's a model for the hood up version in the game.
Including all manner.
I wish he'd put it up sometime. He just doesn't. Like, he's letting himself get all wet.
Well, anyway, we'll find out.
It has to be there for the rain, at least, right? Or like when you're sneaking, it would be cool if you threw it up. Kind of like how you put the visor down when you enter battle. sure they would have been able to implement that easily.
Halt! Who goes there?
Lucifer and all his minions! Who else, Robert?
Sir Radzig! What a relief.
I know there's a mod that toggles it to the other mode also, but like you can't do it on the fly. You have all of them up or all of them down.
At your age, you need a good night's sleep.
Well, Radzig, you didn't exactly pick the best time for an outing either. In a big hurry?
It was a bit of a scramble, all right. Believe it or not, this tempest is a godsend for me and my men. As my old granddad used to say, better a sore throat than a slit throat.
I'd say your grandfather was a wise man. Your messenger told us.
I don't know. All you people could die of TB right now.
Lad you sent to warn us.
He's alive? He made it to you?
He's here with me. He only got away by the skin of his teeth, though.
Thank God.
A brave young man. But tell me, friend, how on earth did you manage to get away?
Thank God for this tempest. When it began, Sigismund's Tatars crawled into their holes and left a storm into the castle for more clement weather. We were able to sneak out right under their noses. The Lord be praised. We wouldn't have stood a chance against them.
Would you like to spend the night in Talmberg?
No, no. When Sigismund finds the castle empty tomorrow, he might come looking for us. We'd only be exposing you to danger. Without me and my men, he has no call to attack you.
What will you do then?
He had no call to attack the town.
It's only a short way, and there we'll have a better chance of defense, and enough room for all of these people. If Sigismund should come, better bend your knee, Divish. There's no point dying in a battle that's futile.
You're right there.
Is that boy still with you?
I'm here.
It's me.
Sir.
I'm that boy.
You have courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd
Nah.
like to, sir, but first I have to return to Skalitz.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't leave my mother and father. I won't leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey. Are you tired of living?
But sir!
Quiet! I'm sorry about your father, but getting killed as well won't help him. Divish, make sure that lad doesn't budge from Talmberg until things quieten down.
Not to worry, friend. Anyway, he's injured and needs to recover. I'll lock him up here as if he were Havel of Baldic.
I've seen you've grown a thick skin since your tribulation, sir. But thank you. We'll meet again when circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
Farewell, friend, and good fortune. Give my regards to Sir Hanush.
I will. And good luck to you and your people, too. These are dark times.
Bro, you're telling me I don't even got a torch.
Men, tonight we'll have triple patrols. Sort out the watches between you as always. And if I catch anyone boozing, playing dice or slacking off, I'll personally break every bone in his body. I want you to keep a close eye on everything nearby. Sigismund will surely have sent spies, and likely men as well, to follow the Skalitz people now he knows they've fled. Keep your eyes peeled and report everything to me at once. Understood?
The Skalitz people.
What is it you need?
I could use an extra pair of eyes, and yours are keen. Will you keep watch on the battlements with my men?
Is that a request or an order?
I'd rather it was a request you answered yes to.
Of course I'll help.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pay you back somehow after all you've done for me.
Splendid. And don't worry, I'll tell the men to relieve you later. God be with you.
There might have been a torch I could have stolen. Now I'm thinking about it. They want me to go keep watch. Or maybe I can steal this one. No? I am in the right place, yeah, I just have to stay up here. Watch out for sneaky beakies. I'm pretty sure you woke up like an hour before sunrise, and it's literally just like 7 o'clock when the guy comes running to relieve you. So they're more or less training us in the concept of a day-night cycle right now. Wait around till you can see.
Wandering around like a stray sheep must be your first watch, eh?
I'm not a guard.
Much will be happening today. You can just lean against the wall and wait till morning. I'll show you what's what.
I will. Thank you.
I like this guy. He knows how to do his job. We can now wait. So, maybe another hour. Oh, there we go. 5:20. There's an alarm.
Let's go! Move it! Quick! Go! Go!
Trying, man. This man's never worked out a day in his life.
Move it! Quick! Go! Go!
Skalitz.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
See how the self-appointed king wins the love and respect of his loyal subjects.
Indeed, Robard. Sigismund of Luxembourg has a rare talent for winning people over to his cause. You may be in for a surprise, though. I don't think he will set his heathen dogs on us today.
Greetings, Lord of Talmberg.
That's the bastard who led the attack at Skalitz and killed my parents.
Don't be an idiot. Do you want to end up like them?
I am Sir Markwart von Aulitz. I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia, who has resolved to strike against those who disrupt concord in the land and to restore order in the name of his brother.
Roche is a place
King
nobody talks about.
the Fourth.
Restore order by burning and pillaging the king's estates.
Greetings, Sir Markwart. The efforts of the king's brother to bring order to this chaotic land are undoubtedly noble. It seems to me, though, that he and his army have somewhat strayed. As Burgrave of Prague Castle, I am entirely beholden to the king, and here in Talmberg divine peace reigned until your arrival. To what then do we owe the honor of your visit?
Yesterday, His Majesty took action against the enemy of the kingdom, Sir Radzik Kobila, who has been using the silver from the Skalitz mine to fund insurrection against the crown. Unfortunately, the insurgent escaped. Would you happen to know, noble sir, where he might be at this time?
As far as I know, the Sir Radzik of which you speak is the king's hetman at Skalitz. I find it hard to imagine that he would rebel against our king. Nevertheless, I can assure you that Sir Radzig is not at Talmberg. He would be a fool indeed to flee from one castle, where he has little chance of defense, to another, where he has even less. Or do you take the view that
True, these
my
walls are
humble
made of
manor
wood.
is any obstacle to your army?
Am I to inform the king then that Sir Radzig Kobyla is not at Talmberg and that he has your loyalty?
Sir Radzig Kobyla is not here, and I have no intentions of getting embroiled in affairs from which I have nothing to gain.
Very well, sir. As you wish.
Put his
I
foot
will
down,
relay
no
your words
loyalty.
to the king in the hope he will be as well disposed as you seem to be.
Those who have clean consciences and goodwill may find themselves well disposed even at moments like this, when there is little cause for joy. Farewell, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Man spoke with confidence. He's got balls. I have told someone to shoot him right now, though. That meme's turning around. I played Rainbow Six Vegas.
My lord, you have my utmost admiration.
Get on with you, Robard.
The 1,000-pound mace. I wonder if he was actually staring at Henry like, that guy just punked me? I see that guy, he was at the other place. I think that we are actually going back to Skalitz now. I'll have to talk to Robard.
God be with you.
Hey, speech, just for talking.
So, Robard, I need to get to Skalitz.
What would you do there, lad? Sigismund might have left, but the place will be swamped with robber barons, brigands, deserters, and other vermin. And anyway, your lord commanded you to stay here.
Robber barons. I have to bury my parents. It looks like my status is the best thing I have.
So, Robard, my parents died there. I can't leave them to be eaten by dogs. What would you do in my place?
Sorry, lad, but I won't take orders. You'll have to wait until everything settles down, and maybe your lord will change his mind.
I'm not burying a skeleton, goddammit. I'm burying my parents.
What happened in Kuttenberg?
Gutenberg, well, I'm just a simple soldier, but the good Lord gave me ears, and I've heard some things from Sir Divish and from those who fled from Sigismund's pillaging.
Were there many?
Indeed, but it was the Kuttenberg mercenaries who came to see me, because I knew them from before.
I see.
Listen, lad, these are all games of the high aristocracy. In Prague, a cabal of nobles rebelled against King Wenceslas, wealthy aristocrats who took against our king for reasons of their own. There's no doubt Sigismund had his fingers in the whole affair. Him and Wenceslas's cousin, Jobst. And that cabal helped him abduct the king.
So then why did Sigismund attack Kuttenberg?
Why do you think?
He's a dick. Man, I don't know, maybe Kuttenberg's a city, right?
I suppose, because it has a strategic position and good fortifications, so it can be used as a base for raids, giving you control of the whole territory and good defences too, if you need them.
Not at all. King Charles, may God grant him eternal glory, built Prague into a proper royal city, while King Wenceslas took a liking to Kuttenberg. After Prague, it's the most important city in Bohemia, in the entire Holy Roman Empire. He who commands the Kuttenberg silver is king.
So Kuttenberg sided with Wenceslas because he favoured it?
Now you're starting to understand. When Sigismund imprisoned Wenceslas and took control of Prague, the people of Kuttenberg began to raise an army against him. So with the attack on Kuttenberg, Sigismund killed 2 birds with 1 stone. He defeated Wenceslas's most powerful allies before they could stand against him, and also gained immense wealth.
So the Insurgent Lord's answer is probably more correct. Might have gave me like warfare experience if I got good or something. We don't need to discuss war politics. We just gotta get out here, do our duties as good Christians, and bury our freaking parents.
Sigismund and his heathen cutthroats will come out in the woods any time now and slaughter us all.
They won't come back.
Do some training here. Combat arena, unexplored place. Pretzel? Love pretzels. Ain't nothing like an authentic Amish pretzel. Lotova.
God be with you.
Can we trade?
If you've got the call.
So I think I can either like break out of here with a lockpick. I don't have money for. Has a treasure map. Torch. Love to have one of those. I think I can break out with a lockpick, or I can like steal guard armor and sneak out. Or I can try and convince this guy.
God be with you.
I need to get out of here.
I need to get out of here.
And I need a feather bed with a comely wench in it. But it looks like we'll both be disappointed. Sir Divish gave orders not to open the gate, and you especially are not to be let out.
Feather bed sounds like hell, honestly. Feather pillows are already terrible. No, I am. I can lie. Dude, I've gotta bury my
My
parents.
mother and
Come
father
on.
were left in Skalitz like carrion. I have to bury them. I can't leave them to the dogs.
I'm sorry, my friend, but I can't. You'll have to persuade Sir Robard, or think something up so I don't end up in the shit for it. Otherwise, forget it.
Ah, come on.
Alright, I'll see what I can do.
I
need to get out of here.
You here again, boy? Didn't I tell you how much trouble I'd... May the Lord watch over you.
I was talking to some merchant from Rome, and he said it's like that all over.
And well, it sounds like he might want to look the other way, at least. Couple dudes being bros. Nothing wrong with being inside your homie. It's so weird playing a game that doesn't have like mantling. It's such a common feature now. And, like, I don't think it's easy to implement either. It's just, like, it's what everybody's doing.
He's a doctor, no mistake. How about going round and trampling his cabbage patch?
I'll take the old woman with me. We'll have a good dance.
Oh, I'm getting desperate now.
Villagers.
Why's that, for the love of God? You know what my
Say
old
that?
man is like.
Aye. You want to stick your head out of the door now and again, you old idler.
Huh. I didn't actually try and pick the lock, did I? Doubt I'm even capable of it. It's probably like hard. Maybe I can steal a key from the guard. Or no, this is the way into the keep. I can get the armor in here. Up the wall. Very hard. I stuck? I see, I see. Very sneaky. The running does actually, like, wear you out permanently faster than just being awake or whatever, but it is, in fact, raising some of my stats. So that's why I'm doing it, like, while we're safe and it's not a big deal. But getting, like, your core stats raised is what's most important right now. So even doing stuff just like picking pockets and stuff will end up raising your agility, and that'll help you with combat, so you can eventually start playing the game for real. There we go, full set here. Hard, very hard. Rob. What is there to rob? Nothing, that's what. Obviously, yeah, when you get in disguise, you have to be out of sight, so it'd probably be good of us to just put it on right now. And, like, the order you equip these kinda matters if you're trying to not look stupid in the menu. Did I not get any shoes? Or did I unequip them? Go with that.
Hey, who's there?
I hope this is enough, because it probably won't work if I get caught. Don't mind me, inconspicuous homie. You've known me your whole life. Evening, Skyrim belongs to the Nords. Oh shit, he knows me.
Nobody's going to attack us. Never mind foreign soldiers.
Oh, there's Robard. We don't want him to see us. There's the gate.
I need to get out of here.
Then I'm afraid you're out of luck. Ah, I see. All right then. But if you breathe a word about me to anyone, God be with you.
Aha, I'm in disguise, baby. You gonna open the gate? Alright, let's scat. Is that my horse? No, that's a man. We're heading that way. I think you go up the hill here. It might have been smart to steal a horse, but we can also just like fast travel. I think you gain a little XP for doing this anyways. So you might hit a random encounter. Ah, crap. Oh well, this is like, you know, the Lord of the Rings. Sometimes they just cut away from the action to show some guys walking over a mountain with the, you know, the theme song playing on a sad violin. I guess I can start talking about Elden Ring then while we're going here. So I beat it in like roughly a month and a half, I guess. I've played it pretty much non-stop since it came out. I think the first run took roughly 130 hours, and see, I got like one of the secret optional endings. Like I went with Hug Lady first. Then I got, like, the good ending from Moonwife. And then I got the bad ending, which is also, like, secret, very hard to get to. But those are the only ones of significance. There's 6 endings, and 4 of them are, like, roughly the same. Like, it just shows your character sitting on a throne and says, alright, you got this ending. And there's no real exposition beyond that. Whatever you did was told to you like 50 hours before you actually got to the end of the game, and you unlock the prerequisites to get that ending. Honestly, pretty disappointing. Oh, I was supposed to get a horse. I got sneaked for walking around in disguise, though. That's cool. It's probably gonna take me right to Skalitz.
I've already gone.
Alright, I've got the OP sword. We're gonna fight some robbers. Might actually kill a man. Can't smell very good, especially not in the rain. Right, so, not that any of that really matters, right? Like, I don't think anybody's playing these games for the story. Like, there is story there, but you won't know what the fuck's going on when you play. Unless you really go out of your way to read everything. Which there's a lot of. And you have to explore the whole game to get everything, of course, and the game's fucking massive, so, like, I think most people will not know what the hell happened, and they'll watch a video later.
Well now, Look what's come crawling out from under some rock. Fucking hell!
Getting those first few hits is the most important thing, because now he has half stamina. I think that like the weight of my armor is also negatively affecting my stamina consumption. Alright, but even as far as that goes, from like a new IP, I was expecting a lot more, to be honest. Like, it's basically still just Dark Souls 100%. The setting has changed slightly, but we're still looking at like a war-torn ruined kingdom with the curse of immortality. And you're trying to kill the old god so you can restart things. It's just now about Lord of the Rings and like space monsters and eldritch gods and stuff. I will say though, with the commitment to the setting, they put like a lot more focus on like faith as an offensive means of fighting rather than just like being the heal class. I think that's pretty cool. In general, they made magic a lot more fun to use, especially with so many weapons having magical abilities. So like everyone kind of has a use for mana now.
Hey!
Hello? The combat's, you know, it's the same as, you know, it's a little smoother. They added a few new moves like a guard counter since parrying isn't always an option. And it's pretty useful. They added jumping, jump attacks, which are just better than heavy attacks in every way.
Why would anyone do this? What did these poor souls ever do to them?
And like with the weapon arts, they made things more interesting. What's really unique about it though is like how accurate everything is. Like if you get hit in the shield, it'll still block even if you're not blocking, or like the hitboxes are just really accurate, so you can like dodge under attacks by using an emote to pray or whatever. Or you can jump over attacks. There's like a lot of ways to fuck with people, and it's hilarious in PvP, but in the game too, it feels kind of exploity and realistic. I always compared the Dark Souls combat to like Zelda, with a little more going on mechanically, but still like as far as it controls, literally Ocarina of Time combat. Now it feels a bit more like Monster Hunter, like there's a lot of depth there, and that's good. But still more or less the same stuff you're used to. And I don't know, magic's still kind of OP. Like, I just went for a solid melee build at first before I could start speccing into the magical abilities in case it didn't work out. And like at half the stats I have for my melee attacks, I'm doing like the same amount of damage with spells, and it only got like exponentially more powerful from there. Honestly, it feels like traditional melee builds are incredibly underpowered. You pretty much need to have a status effect on your weapon to be viable. So like Frost or Holy or Occult or Bleed, which was crazy OP when the game came out. They cut the damage Bleed does in half. So now it's just like, eh. But I definitely relied on that to get me through a good chunk of the game before I had like solid magic abilities online.
Hey, who's there? Well, I never. Follow.
You can live.
Bailiff. He didn't run like me. He died with a sword in his hand.
In terms of the exponential scaling, the stats work that way too. Like normally there's a soft cap where it starts out strong and then when you get to like 30 points or so it's shit. Now it's the opposite where the more you dump into something, the more powerful you get.
In the end, you were a hero. You didn't run away.
So like the first 20 points of health will get you to 300 and then the next 20 points will get you up to 1,500. It takes a really long time for the strength and dexterity scaling to actually start working like that. Till then, it's just like literally 1 point of damage gained. And so many weapons like have such low scaling values that is in fact all you're getting out of it at 1 point. You have to like upgrade them to max to see anything resembling an A or an S.
Why did you do it to me, Father? Why? Why did you leave me? Forgive me. Forgive me for everything. Next time I won't run. I'll never run away again. I'll find the one who did this to you. I remember his face. I'll find him.
Bald guy with a cool mustache. We will have his head. I've got back hair.
I have to find this shovel and take care of you.
Beneath the tree you wanted to die under.
I wanted to lie beside Mother. Here. Under the linden tree. At least I can do that much for you.
Jeez, this intro took a bit longer than I thought it would. We're still gonna do some training while I finish talking about Elden Ring, but I wouldn't expect more story progress to happen beyond what we're about to do. Probably do thief training even. I don't know, there's really not much to say about it mechanically. It's like, it's solid, it's a general improvement over what Dark Souls 3 is. However, like, there's more to the game than just the gameplay, right? Even if it is all gameplay, like, you see people roasting it on Twitter, like, these gamers just don't understand a well-designed quest line. And yeah, that's true. The quests are fucking archaic, impossible to follow. There is no story in the game. It is just basically one massive dungeon that you're playing in all the games. And like, it's good. It's fun still. However, that dungeon needs to be well designed, and this is their first attempt to making a completely open world game. And that's where like a lot of my gripes with it come from. But like, yeah, I of course loved the game. I do feel that I'm gonna have like a lot of criticism to say. And like, that criticism's really what's only worth talking about, because of course it's great beyond that. A spade. Is there one in the house? So the world is kind of split up into like leveled zones. So like each section of the map is meant for wherever you are at a specific point in the game. And that means that it's relatively impossible for you to beat it at level 1, whereas the other games you could absolutely do that. And it's still doable, it's just like, it's shitty, because by the time you're at the end game, and you couple that with the exponential stat scaling, if you didn't like put enough points in health by the time you reach a certain point, the enemies will be one-hitting you again, despite you already dumping 20 points into your health. And I do feel that there are like a lot of moments until the mid-game where I found weapons that were just straight up better than what I previously had. Whereas before, all of them were viable. Obviously, once you get into the mid-late game, you start finding legendary weapons and you keep those for the rest of the game, but still, it takes time to get there. Am I stupid? Where's the shovel? I thought it would be right by the tree, but, like, it's not. And obviously the world's big, they need to point you towards where the story is somehow, so when you go to a bonfire, now called Site of Grace, it has like a little arrow coming out of it that'll point you towards the next one it wants you to go to. And when you start the game, it more or less railroads you right into the first major dungeon, and there you get your ass gatekeeped for like a couple hours by Margit, who is unreasonably hard. I found him much more difficult than the actual boss of that dungeon. And, like, I feel like they just railroaded you into it way too hard, because, like, the rest of that whole area, which is massive, is much easier, and, like, I could have done all of that and come back to them and had an easy time, but, like, I didn't, because the game led me there, I felt. It's more than just the arrow literally pointing me there. You, like, get introduced to new mechanics everywhere in the area, but, like, it seems like you're going the right way when it's giving you new mechanics and you're following the arrow, right? I think that was like a fumble of game design. Unless their intention was for me to give up like a bitch, which I wasn't gonna do. I had already fought 2 bosses prior to that, which were also way too high level for me. And I spent like 2-3 hours on each of them. Make it bright. Where is this freaking shovel, dude? So yeah, I had a pretty like rough start in the game in terms of difficulty before it started to get easier once I started like actually exploring the map and doing everything. There are also like some major progression items that you just like might miss, like all the talismans that have useful effects, or talisman pouches which lets you equip more of them, or golden seeds and tears of America or whatever they're called to upgrade your healing flask. There's also like a whole mechanic called this Flask of Wondrous Physic, which lets you customize a buff with the items you collect from going to special places. And that one's totally missable as well. I didn't find it till like 25 hours in. I found stuff to put in the flask long before I found the actual flask, because there's nothing pointing you there. Dude, where's this fucking shovel? Do I have to go into town? Am I like... Yeah, it wants me to search the whole town. That's why I'm stupid.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Aside from that, whenever you go into a dungeon, if it's like a catacomb, you will see the same catacomb tile set throughout the entire game. And then you'll hit the boss at the end, and it will come from like a small pool of bosses that you will see repeated again and again throughout the entire game. There's like the ulcer tree spirit, the gladiator guy, the black knife guy, the watchdogs, and occasionally you'll see something else, but there's like 5 or 6 bosses total that you'll get repeated. And you know, sometimes it's cool to have like a nemesis character who just keeps showing up, right? But it's not cool to have every boss be a nemesis character. Especially when those bosses start to become normal enemies in the later ones. It's like, I don't know, they lose a lot of their charm, they lose a lot of their threat. I kind of just like when they're man mode, one take Jake, most of them. They just felt less threatening every time I encountered one. Kinda boring, TBH. But, like, you can't just avoid these dungeons because they have good stuff in them, like unique spells, or the talismans, which, again, are very useful. Great to have something that gives you a little health regen, or health on kill, or mana on kill, or boost your critical attack damage. I think this guy might have the shovel. Yeah, he does.
Get away, you mutt! Get away, you beast!
What's going on? Zbyszek, what in God's name are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing? Digging turnips? The beast just went for me.
Isn't that Mutt the butcher's? Mutt. And isn't that body the butcher's?
Yeah, that's him. What's that got to do with anything?
He's protecting his master. Leave him alone, dude. Quit looting corpses.
I'd say the poor creature is standing guard over his master. You weren't trying to get to him, were you?
What do you care what I'm doing here? What are you doing here?
I want to bury my parents.
I came to bury my parents.
So bury them and leave me be.
Can I get that shovel?
Would you lend me that spade? I have to dig a grave, and I can't find another.
What's it worth to you? I see you have a fine sword. I'll gladly trade you my spade for that. How did you come by it, anyway?
I made it.
My father forged it for Sir Radzig. It's my duty to deliver it to him. It's not for sale.
Go right ahead and dig that grave with your sword, then. See how that goes. And where will you dig it, anyway? Here? You're not going to lay your parents in unhallowed ground, are you?
I'll bury them where they want to be buried.
Father said he wanted to be buried here, and I can't take them to St. James's. God willing, later I can find a priest to consecrate the ground. Do you know what happened to Teresa from the mill? When I fled, the Cumans wanted to... They meant to violate her, and God knows what else.
No, I don't know. What do I care? They probably raped her and killed her like all the others. Her misfortune.
Violate sounds like such a more nasty word than rape.
How did you manage to get away?
How do you think? I ran.
Should intimidate him then.
I've interrupted you robbing the dead. Is that why you're so ill-tempered? You bastard. Haven't you got a shred of honor?
And what of it? The butcher has no more need of coin. And now that I think of it, your sword would do me quite nicely as well.
Looting corpses is actually considered a crime, though you're going to do a lot of it.
The only way you'll touch this sword is when I shove it in your guts.
So that's the way of it? Not without a sword, huh? Well, this isn't the end.
That was Deutsch's
Easy
kid.
there, boy. You know me. And your good master won't be needing this anymore.
There's the spade. Oh, boy started crying. Oh, I noticed in the menu, there's like a sidekick saying, it used to only be the horse. You can get a dog now. I don't know when that happened, but that's pretty cool. Speaking of horses, there's a horse in Elden Ring to help you get around faster. Some of the boss fights, like the dragons specifically, are kind of made for you to fight them on horseback, but for whatever reason, they didn't think to include horse equipment, so like the horse still staggers and gets killed really easily. I think is like an obvious oversight, and it makes me concerned that there's going to be horse armor DLC. They'll revive a dead meme. Otherwise, it's fun. Like, I use it for platforming and stuff, and they were smart enough to not make your stamina consumption a thing outside of combat. So, like, you can just spam the speed boost on it, and you get around fast enough. I didn't fast travel all that often, because I felt no need to return to old areas. And everything of interest is more or less clearly marked on the map, so while people say the world's maybe, like, occupied, I think that, like, it's still very much just a thing full of icons, but the icons are not visible until you get to the place. But, like, you can see a cave in the ground marked on the map, you can see a tree, you can see a castle. You just go there, and there's probably something good there. I feel like I probably explored almost everything, but I still somehow missed some of the legendary spells and talismans because I didn't get the achievements for those. But I don't know. As someone who experienced all the content, I feel like there's too much recycled content. And I didn't care for the Overworlds edition very much. I would have much rather the more tight-knit game with well-designed levels, as the previous things were, but like the nice levels still exist. That's what the legacy dungeons are. They take a while to get through usually. Though if you're speedrunning in New Game Plus, you can just plow through most of them as well. Because they're like full of difficulty gates and stuff. Speaking of New Game Plus, there's like a slight difficulty increase between them, but I didn't really notice it until like the final 2 or 3 bosses. Everyone else is kind of a pushover for the 3 playthroughs I did.
Damn it all.
Also, in a later patch, they like added quest markers for NPC locations, and that was necessary. That should have been in the game from the start. But what they didn't add was quests. Seems like a lot of them are just blatantly unfinished. Or they kind of wrap up way too quick later on.
Can't you see the sword?
After the patch.
Who are you? What do you want? Zbyszek?
Who do you think we are? Franciscan brothers? We're here to rob you of everything you've got.
That's a big stick you got.
Especially that fine blade that's of no use to a peasant like you anyway.
Banish the thought. It is my father's sword.
Man's a fucking giant.
You mean him? I don't think he's going to be needing it anymore.
Listen here, boy. You hand over that sword, I might just let you go. If not, you're in for a family reunion you really don't want.
Leave me alone.
Kill him, Runt! Aye, cut the bastard down.
As you like. Could have just cost you a few teeth.
Ah!
Yeah, I'm kind of supposed to get my ass kicked right now, I think. See, I mentioned the performance is, like, not good. It mostly runs pretty well. Again, it just got, like, stuttering, and that's 100% from their shitty implementation of easy anti-cheat. And I honestly probably recommend just removing it and playing offline entirely, because multiplayer is more or less ruined, in my opinion. Like, you can only invade or, like, get invaded or engage in multiplayer if you choose to be, by using an item.
I told you.
Which doesn't give you a buff like it usually did.
You should have listened to me. This is nice work. The chief is going to like it. It's new, isn't it?
Slightly used.
And now, for the maiden bloodletting. Surely your father never would have imagined it would be your blood.
I've killed a few people with it already,
There's
guy.
a word for such moments. The old man would certainly know. Well, I'm just a common killer. Did you help make it? No doubt you did. Such miserable luck. To die by the sword you helped forge.
Hey, go fuckers!
Go fuck a goat.
The games are over.
Disperse this rabble!
Okay, so Henry, like, got danked trying to be a good Christian, and he lost everything just then. From here on, you're like a spirit of vengeance, and that's kind of my justification for looting corpses and stealing stuff. You're just trying to get revenge now. You gotta get your fucking... You gotta get your sword back, you gotta bury your parents, you gotta get revenge on the guy, like, you've got a list of things to do. And you're gonna get it done. Henry died. Parents still aren't buried. No, they're there. They're buried. Respect. Right, so... Like, it's very easy to stay offline, and then I recommend you do, because there's, like, a long-running issue where there's a security issue with their netcode that lets people run a script. Like, an invader can run anything on your computer just by invading you, so they can just be griefers and lower your character's stats, or they can do something more malicious, like install ransomware on your computer while you're playing a game and you can't see what's going on. And that has existed since the first game, I think. And they just never fixed it. They keep using that same netcode. And easy anti-cheat's in here to help with that, but, like, it doesn't work. It's still a persistent issue. And they literally shut the servers down for a minute when people were still doing it. I remember it happening because I was in the middle of a boss fight and I was about to fucking win. And they're like, oh, nope, you can't play the game while offline, guy. Or you can, but you have to start offline, so it just, like, booed me back to the menu, and I was fucking tight. So, like, not only is it dangerous to invade people, but if you do invade people, it's going to be someone who's already engaging in multiplayer, so they're already going to have, like, 2 or 3 guys with them, and they're not going to fight you honorably. They just want you to get the fuck out. You're gonna get ganged by 3 other players. You can leave like a dueling summon sign, but again, that's dangerous. Maybe some asshole's gonna summon you and fucking brick your computer. So, like, considering that it makes the game actually run well, and, like, you can probably run it on high settings on a medium tier build like I previously had, I would recommend just not engaging with the multiplayer. Uninstall the anti-cheat and make the game run well. Because that performance loss is, like, a major issue for me, personally. Enemies straight up turn invisible when you fall under 30 FPS. The game, like, tries to cut down resource consumption to keep it at a steady frame rate, and the first thing to go are enemies. Not grass, not rocks, not tree leaves, enemies. And honestly, that knocks like a whole fucking point off the game. Like, I would have given it like a 9 otherwise, but like, no, it's like an 8. It's far from perfect in terms of open world design, so like, it's definitely not getting a 10. It does not get close to qualifying for that. And like, with all the freaking recycled junk food content, it's just kind of easy. It's like not relevant to the main game. I'm just like, they could have done better with some of that. And, you know, it's their first attempt. I'm not roasting them for it. Obviously, there should be room for improvement. And if there's obvious room for improvement, then it's obviously not a 10 for the time, is it? Also, there's like a lot of the game that's like completely optional and kind of hard to get to.
There's work to be done.
Including the hardest boss in the game, Melania, who has like lifesteal on every hit, regardless of whether or not she actually did damage to you. You block and she'll still heal herself. So you have to become Dodge God to fight her. And I did kill her. And you get like a rune that turns it into Bloodborne, so you get your health back slowly if you attack after being hit. And that's pretty cool, but it comes way late in the game that you don't really get to take advantage of it, which sucks because it doesn't carry into New Game Plus. I didn't even get to kill her, honestly. She like bugged out in her second phase and got auto-killed by my Phantom. Not a player I summoned. There's summons that don't scale the bosses up, and they just take a crap ton of mana. And I was using one that makes a copy of myself, and he just ran in there and beat the shit out of her while she was, like, idling in between phases.
It's a new day. Henry, can you hear me? Hallelujah.
After, like, 6 hours of trying to kill her.
Were you having a nightmare?
Teresa?
You still have a fever. Uncle won't be pleased, but you'll have to stay in bed.
Where am I? In Skalitz?
We're at my uncle's mill in Rattay. I didn't know where else to go.
What happened?
You don't remember anything? I suppose that's not surprising. I found you in Skalitz after those bandits attacked you. I thought they'd done for you, but you were still breathing. Why in heaven's name did you go back there? It was madness. They slaughtered everyone who didn't run.
My parents, I wanted to bury them. I had to...
Don't worry. I took care of it.
Thank you.
Any good Christian would have done the same. Now sleep. You need your strength back. You're awake.
Good morning.
It's near midnight. You've slept all day.
Oh.
Oh, I feel like a horse fell on me.
The beating you took was worse. But at least the fever's broken.
What were you doing?
What in the world were you doing in Skalitz?
Waiting to die.
What?
They killed my brothers, my family, my friends.
They're all dead.
All of them. Everyone I ever loved. They killed one of my brothers in the mines. After that, what did I have to live for?
Don't say that. There's always hope.
No, there isn't. But it doesn't matter. I'm a different person now.
How'd you find me?
How did you manage to save me?
You were lucky. I was in Skalitz and I saw Zbyszek and his thugs. I tried to distract them, but it would have been no use if those soldiers from Talmberg hadn't arrived. They were searching for you and scattered the bandits.
It was looking for me?
Searching for me?
Yes. Lord Divish sent them, led by Captain Robard. So tell me, why is a lord of such high standing interested in a blacksmith?
So Divish promised Sir Radzig he'd look after me. But as for why they should care, I've no idea.
I have his sword.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
I'm not surprised. I'll bring you water and something to eat. In the meantime, rest. You're still very weak.
Even later.
Good morning to you. How's the invalid today?
Ugh, haven't felt as good as this since they lashed me to the wheel and quartered me on the town square.
Got your sense of humour back. You must be better. My uncle will be glad to hear it. I had a job persuading him to let me bring you here. If you'd lain around much longer, he really would have dumped you on the town square. You can stay until you find somewhere else to live, but my uncle will want payment for taking you in and caring for you.
Sure he will. This is my house now. Come here anytime.
And this is your uncle's house?
We're in Ratay Mill. My uncle's miller Peshek. He took me in, and
bottom of the map.
Taking care of you too.
Skalitz is at the top.
I've been lying here long enough.
Uncle will be pleased he's one mouth less to feed. But are you truly well enough?
Well enough to do what has to be done. Where can I find Sir Radzig?
He's in the lower castle in Perkstein. He's a guest of Sir Hanush of Lite BaI. But someone like you can't just walk up bold as you please and demand an audience.
I know Sir Radzig, and I didn't bring him his sword as I was supposed to. I must see him.
If you insist. But you need to speak to my uncle first. You've been in your sickbed for over a fortnight while he paid the apothecary to tend to you, and for medicine. That's a good deal of coin you owe him.
I've been lying here 2 weeks. My God.
Better a fortnight in bed than an eternity in the grave. If it weren't for my uncle, you wouldn't be here at all.
Fortnight! Oh, I gotta get to work.
Fine. But right now, I have more important things to do.
That's all you have to say? After everything we've done for you? Well, do as you see fit.
Damn, I didn't think she'd take it like that. Fuck.
A word with you, young fellow.
My name's Henry. Thank you for taking care of me here.
My name's Peshek, and I'm the miller here. You've already met my niece, Teresa. She took care of you for 2 whole weeks while you were in limbo. And talking of you being at death's door, while you were lying here, you worked up quite a bill with the bloodletter, who came now and again to keep you alive with his potions. That quack doesn't come cheap. I paid him what I could, but I still, that is, you still owe him.
I see. Well, it's better to be in debt than to lie dead in a ditch. What do I owe? I'm not afraid of hard work.
You won't pay for that shoveling manure. I might have a better job for you. And it's not something any fool can do. If you prove to me you're a clever lad, I might trust you with something you could really make money from. What do you say?
Well, what would you need from me?
A trifle. Just to take something from someone and bring it to someone else. and not get caught while you're doing it.
That sounds straightforward enough. Except for not get caught. Why would anyone want to catch me?
Oh, don't worry. It's just a job like any other. Only this one requires, let's say, the right moral disposition. Do corpses bother you?
No honourable man should touch them. That's the executioner's job.
Did you expect I'd give you a hoe and send you out to the fields? You can dig all right, but somewhere else. I want to know whether you're going to hide behind some stupid fucking scruples, or if you might be useful for more unconventional work.
Scruples? Alright, I trust this guy. He knows words.
I was prepared for just about anything, but that's a bit much. But go on. Tell me more.
Listen, it's about this ring my mate Wojciech, the Kohelnitz miller, had his eye on. Trouble is, they buried the ring by the gibbet along with the villain they hung while he was wearing it.
Jesus Christ. You want me to dig up a corpse, take a ring from it, and give it to your friend in Kohelnitz? Is nothing sacred to you?
Money first, morals later. That fellow is dead. He won't miss it. Whatever bleeding heart came up with the idea that it's disrespectful to disturb a corpse never read the Bible. It's still a human body, only it's missing a soul. Why be disgusted by something created by God?
Fair point.
I think I've already heard more than I need to know. You've got the tongue of the devil himself. If you tried hard enough, I bet you could justify sodomy with a goat.
Watch your mouth, boy. There's a shovel here around the mill somewhere. If there's any problem, come and see me. And here's something on the side to make you dig better.
Thanks. I'll need it. I can't believe I've come to this. Digging up corpses.
Oh, and watch out for the executioner and his hounds. They're pretty savage. And I don't just mean the dogs. You can just throw them some meat. The dogs, that is. But the executioner? Well, don't vex him. Good luck to you.
Jeez. I think that took like our whole 3 hours or so that we planned to go for, so yeah, it's about time to wrap up. I just have a little more to say about Elden Ring before we're done though. So we talked about combat, we talked about open world design being lacking, how quests are kind of a mess. And again, the game is all combat and the combat was improved and that's a good thing. But I feel like so much of what was like important, the level design, the freaking even the story feels lacking with how disconnected everything is between moments and how much of it there is. Like, I don't feel like this is going to be anybody's favorite game in the From Software library. Some tells me it's still going to be Bloodborne, which I personally couldn't get into. But even like Dark Souls 3 is probably better overall as a whole package. And like couple that with how textures and like graphics in general and sound effects specifically are just like not very next gen feeling. I've seen comparisons of it on max settings versus Demon's Souls Remake, and Demon's Souls Remake blows it out of the fucking water, especially in the sound department. I've got a nice speaker. Demon's Souls makes my fucking desk shake. Elden Ring never did. And honestly, they all sound very familiar. Like, I'm sure these have been in use since the original Demon's Souls. I don't know, there's just so much reuse. It doesn't feel like something that's next gen in terms of quality. And, you know, there's just design hiccups, quirks that you'd expect from the first attempt at an open world game. But, like, I don't know, it's just too much. I feel like they could have made a smaller open world and had less recycled content, and I would have liked it a bit better if they did. And, like, boss fights themselves are also kind of bullshit now, because you have a reliable way to summon another guy to call aggro, they just do like a lot of flailing about and like seemingly undodgeable attacks, or attacks that you can dodge with iframes, which is kind of lame. And, like, they input read you really hard to fuck up whatever you're doing. I think it's doable. It just, like, it feels relatively unfair, less methodical. There is no rhythm to it. And that's not good. So, like, I don't know, it was good. I definitely sunk a lot of time into it. I enjoyed myself, but I didn't feel like... I don't have as positive opinion of it as I do for any of the other games. And I guess that's about all there is to say about it. I mean, it's obviously not. I could talk for hours and hours about it, but I need, like, direction. I need, like, a script written. I need someone asking me questions. So, like, there's your elevator review of it. Overall, like, kind of disappointing, but, like, still good. I'd still give it that whole time for a first playthrough. I don't know if I'd return to it for a very long time, unless the DLC is that good. But my hopes aren't high with how many bosses are recycled. There's even, like, memes if you... just look around on, like, Reddit or something, you'll see, like, DLC bosses are just like, here's 5 Godskin duos at once, here's 4 Crucible Knights instead of just 2. Like, everybody is very aware of what I'm saying. I don't think there's anything controversial about that. Game come, though. We're about to start the actual game. We're finally out of tutorial land, so that'll be fun. Look forward to it. I'll see you guys in a week, because I really gotta piss. Bye-bye.